The next question comes from a nail professional in Canada, and it's a timely one because it asks this. What is the technical definition for the term overexposure in terms of product exposure and UV exposure? Overexposure is a general term that describes many possible situations that could lead to unsafe levels of exposure or potentially unsafe levels of exposure. It's also a term used by government regulators that are concerned with safety. What is overexposure? Well, the name is almost self-explanatory. Overexposure is excessive exposure to anything. For instance, if you put your head in a bucket of water for 4 minutes, most people would be overexposed. Some can hold their breath for much longer than that, so they wouldn't be overexposed. Now, of course, this is a simplified view of what this term means or indicates. Government safety regulators assign what are called safe exposure levels. These levels are based on scientific testing and medical information. Now, anyone who exceeds these safe levels, it could be said that they were overexposed. However, it's important to note that even if you slightly exceed the safe levels, you'll still be safe. These safe levels have a very wide safety margin. Oftentimes, the safe level is 1,000 times lower than the potentially dangerous level. This is done on purpose to create a safety buffer zone to further help ensure the safe use and to prevent overexposure. Every substance on Earth has both a safe and an unsafe level of exposure, and as I pointed out, a person can even be overexposed to water. In this series, I previously talked about avoiding skin contact, wearing gloves, and using the appropriate ventilation as excellent ways to prevent overexposure to nail products. I've also talked about UV energy exposure from nail lamps in several episodes. When it comes to any type of nail lamp, the potential for overexposure is determined by looking at a combination of the exposure time, the exposure intensity, and the frequency of the UV energy that's emitted by the lamps. This is true for all nail lamps, no exceptions, including traditional fluorescent style UV nail lamps, as well as LED style and even the CCFL style UV nail lamps. This applies to all of them. When these factors are considered, it is clear that overexposure is not at all likely to occur when nail lamps are used as directed. Now, the only exception to this would be clients that are hypersensitive to UV. For instance, those taking medications that would make their skin more sensitive to UV energy, or those with skin disorders such as albinoism, or those who have previous history of skin cancer. Fortunately, overexposure to nail products and UV is easy to avoid if you work safely, follow manufacturer's directions, and heed all warnings.